How's it going, guys? This is Brandon from Walker's Woodworks. Today I got this top here. It's got some knot holes and voids and stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and fill those with epoxy resin, and I'm going to show you how I do it.
So to start off with, you want to flip your piece over, so this is the bottom side you're looking at here, and find any of the knot holes or cracks that show through to the bottom side and tape those off. You want to make sure you get all of them. Even if it looks like a small pinhole, it could lead to a bigger crack on the top side and it'll leak out the bottom. So you really want to make sure you seal it up. I'm using the Moss Flag epoxy with medium hardener. It's just a basic 2-to-1 epoxy for filling voids and knot holes and things like that. I really prefer the epoxies that come with these metering pumps. It's really easy to measure everything out. You don't have to worry about getting it off, because if you mix it wrong, it will either not cure or cure too fast. Once you have the amount of epoxy you think you'll need for the project, go ahead and mix it. You'll want to mix it from a minute to a minute and a half, something like that, 2 minutes maybe, depending on the directions of the epoxy that you're using. I'll leave a link to the one I'm using and the other stuff I use in this video in the video description down below. So go ahead and slowly start applying the epoxy into the cracks and voids. You don't want to do too much. I always do at least a 2 to 3 step process as far as the epoxy goes. So I'll put this layer on, let it harden, because if you put too much in at once, it'll cause too much pressure and it could possibly leak through the tape. I've had that happen before and it's no fun. With the bigger knots and holes, you want to start on one side and kind of slowly pour it in and let it flow across to the other side, filling the bottom of the knot. Because if you don't do that, it'll trap air and then you'll end up with a big air bubble underneath or in the middle, which is not good either. So I'm just continuing here to put the first layer of epoxy on. Like I said, I just want to make a barrier on the bottom of each crack and void.
So I got that first base layer in there. I'll come back out tomorrow after it's cured and finish filling them up.
So I used to just do a layer and then do another layer and do another layer and sand it all at once. But now I found if I sand between layers, it will reveal some of those small air pockets and I can fill those as I go, and it actually becomes a lot more efficient. As you're sanding, you want to make sure you hold your sander flat and level. If you start digging in with one edge of the sander to try to get the epoxy out faster, you'll actually end up with inconsistencies or dips in the wood. When you get done, you want to make sure you blow out all the holes and cracks and everything like that to get all the sanding dust out of there. You don't want that stuff trapped in your epoxy. Go ahead and blow your whole workpiece off, make sure it's all clean. So this is the second layer of epoxy. You want to go around your whole workpiece and make sure you get all the pinholes and cracks and voids filled up. You can go ahead and fill it up all the way on this one. And you actually want to overfill it just a little bit because it'll sink down as it cures. Again, with these bigger ones, you want to start on one side and kind of push the epoxy down in and across, or you'll end up with air bubbles. Now after you got it all done, you want to go across it with a blowtorch or a heat gun or any heat source like that to get all the bubbles out. It'll have surface bubbles on it no matter what you do, so you just want to make sure to pop all those and get it all nice and smooth. Once that top layer is cured, you can go back with your sander and sand it all back down flat with the wood. I've learned that pretty much no matter what you do, you might end up with little pinholes here and there. So I've kind of learned a new trick I'll share with you guys. This is Titebond CA glue, basically with the Instant Bond accelerator. So basically you just take a little dab of CA glue and put it in the pinhole. And I'll have a link to this particular glue and accelerator in the video description if you want to check it out. Now you don't have to use the accelerator, but it definitely speeds up the process. Just spray a little spray on there. It dries pretty fast when you blow on it, and it's ready to sand. You just sand it right off, and if it didn't work, just do it over again. But typically it works pretty good. I've been trying it out recently and I really like that technique.
Well, that just about does it. From this point on, you could finish sanding and move on with your project. If you guys like these quick tip kind of videos, let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff if you haven't already. You can hit the bell for notifications when I post new videos. I'm going to be doing quite a bit more here in the near future, so I appreciate you guys watching. See you next time.